Hello, I'm Ellen Gay Rich with Discipling Nations Africa DNA, and it is our mission to train and equip leaders just like you with kingdom principles and empower you to transform your nation, beginning with yourself. Talked about relationships and healthy relationships and the things that make a healthy relationship. We talked about love, God's kind of love. We talked about humility. God resists the proud but gives grace to the humble. We talked about serving, how we serve others as part of a healthy relationship. And we talked about patience. Wow, having patience, long suffering in a relationship. We talked about appreciation or gratitude in a relationship. And then we talked about forgiveness. So today I want to give you the symptoms of an unhealthy relationship, a contrast for you, so you can recognize if you're in an unhealthy relationship of some kind. And remember, our relationships are family, parents to children, children to parents, husbands to wives, work relationships, our professional relationships, relationships we have in church, a relationship we have in the community with our neighbors, and just casual relationships. So what we want to talk about now is how to recognize an unhealthy relationship. So number one is control. Is the other person trying to control you, to control your program, to intimidate you, to isolate you from its control also involves manipulation. And here in Africa, it could even be witchcraft, which, has no power over us as believers. And sometimes the person may initially court you by being nice to you and take you places until they get their hooks in you, and then it's control. They want to keep tabs on you. They don't want you getting with other people. It's a bad thing. Control. They cut off access to finances. They make it difficult for you to leave that controlling situation. It's a possessive thing, this control. Number two is lack of trust. Lack of trust. You might feel like you have to hide something from this person in the relationship. You might tell somebody, don't tell so-and-so, but that's indicative of a little bit deeper issue there, a trust issue with that person. And if you feel like you cannot trust the other person in a relationship, why is that? Is it your behavior, or is it the way they're behaving that makes you feel like you cannot trust them in a relationship? So be aware of a lack of trust. The third one is disrespect. Disrespect. Does the person disrespect you, disrespect your opinions, disrespect the call on your life? Are they making fun of you in front of other people? Are they talking about you behind your back? Again, it's all about them and not about you. And this disrespect leads to bad feelings, bad emotions. You feel shame or guilt, but it's not your fault. It's they're the ones that are disrespecting you. And the next one is poor communication. Very ineffective communication. The other person will not talk about problems involving both of you or issues involving both of you. They get defensive. They're not listening. They stonewall you. They try to avoid any communication. They will tell you, no, you misunderstood me, or I never said that, trying to make it look like you're the one. That's the poor communicator. So the next thing is betraying you, belittling you. We talked about belittling, putting you down. Betrayal means different things. When someone in the relationship puts other people ahead of you in your relationship. For example, they say, oh, well, this person's more important, so I'm not going to be with you. I'm going to go be with this more important person. They make you feel small. If they're making you feel worthless, saying rude things about you, again, they're betraying you. Again, lack of trust, disrespect. Another big thing, number 6, is not taking responsibility for their actions. They make excuses for their behavior. They blame you, they blame others they make mistakes, but they blame others for their mistakes. They say, no, it's your fault that I failed. Not taking responsibility for their actions. And number 7, isolation. That's part of control. When you have an unhealthy relationship, the other person wants to isolate you, take you away from your friends, your family. I've seen isolation in churches where pastors try to keep their members isolated and not releasing them to go forth and fulfill the purpose God has in your life. And number 8, lack of reliability. They are not reliable. They don't respond to phone calls or your messages. It's an annoying behavior. You're not able to rely on them at all for the program. An unreliable person will shout at you when they don't agree with you. They'll refuse to talk to you. They'll storm out of the room, leaving you to cope with what happened. What happened? They're failing to show up when they're expected, and they cannot or will not tell you why they did not show up or why they are late. And they cancel at the last minute. They make plans with other people that they decide is more important than you, so they will cancel their plans with you at the last minute. They're not willing to share why they were even absent. Just total unreliability. We've seen this here, and I know that you know what I'm talking about. And then finally, number 9, they're stubborn and they don't take feedback. This is a very destructive trait, not being teachable, and it brings a lot of relationships to close because a stubborn person will not allow any input. They will use your input to make their point. A stubborn person will have a comment and a rebuttal to almost any discussion or suggestion. Again, it's not their fault. They will always insist that they are right and you're the one who is wrong. Again, they will say, I never said that, or you misunderstood me, or no, you're wrong. They must be right. Stubbornness. So how do we cultivate a healthy relationship? Many times these unhealthy relationships have gotten to the point where are they even recoverable? Can they even be changed? That's not something I will advise you on in this video, but I want you to understand that that's when you pray and seek the Lord and ask the Holy Spirit for wisdom. Sometimes you can be in a relationship and just 1 or 2 things are cropping up that are unhealthy, and that can be overcome by putting healthy traits in there, like what we've talked about: the love of God, humility, serving, patience, appreciation, gratitude, and forgiveness. Many times I've had a situation, until I learned how to cure that situation, of someone who would come against me, say in my downline or a supervisor over me, and would talk about me. And I was wondering what's going on. And the Holy Spirit would say, love them, continue to love them with the love of God. And then the Holy Spirit would tell me sometimes, give them a gift, take them to lunch. And I remember one time there was a lady who was really not speaking well of me, and I didn't understand. And the Holy Spirit told me, buy her a gift, bring her a gift. So I said, "Are you sure?" But I did. I bought a little gift, wrapped it, had a pretty bow, and I took it the next morning and placed it on her desk. And I said, "I just wanted to remember you today and tell you how much I appreciate you." Well, do you know what happened? It was her birthday. None of us knew. And she started crying and she said, "I've never received a birthday gift." It turns out she'd had a terrible childhood, and she took all these unhealthy, toxic things with her into her adulthood, and she did not know how to have a healthy relationship. Wow. Listen to the leading of the Holy Spirit. Again, you will have toxic relationships that sometimes you'll just need to walk away, but you let the Holy Spirit guide your decision. So we've talked about healthy relationships and unhealthy relationships, and a little bit about how to cure the relationship. I hope you'll watch it more than one time. I'm Ellen Gay Rich with DNA. Thank you for listening. I look forward to our next time together. God bless you.